All right, so one of the quickest and easiest fixes that I can see right off the rip is going to be this actual parking lot for the mall. We built this in a previous episode, and now that the small parking lot mod that I was using has essentially been labeled as broken, I'm whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm just gonna go ahead and rip it up and use either some custom assets, like some custom road assets, or I'm going to use some different parking lots. But for now, my goal is just to clear this out and prep it for the next part. So of course you can see that I'm clearing out the lights as well. I might end up redoing them. I might not. I don't know. We'll see. But this is empty. So let's go ahead and do a parking road. What I'm thinking perhaps is that if I do an alley and I upgrade them all this way, don't think it matters which direction they're facing, but what I'm thinking is if I upgrade this and do parking here, do a 90-degree or 60-degree, sorry. So this is kind of like a mall parking lot where you see like these, and not necessarily a sidewalk, but just kind of a walking area next to the actual lane. And what I'm thinking is that I kind of just want this to be like a 1.5 meter. I can't go above 6.5 on that. Damn. Okay, that'll work. And then I essentially just want it to be like that. So let's do how we had it. Oh, damn. Did I? Oh, I did it backwards, didn't I? Okay. So we'll go ahead and flip it then. Okay, easy enough. So then we're going to go ahead and do this and just upgrade it all to along there. Do the same thing on this side where the sidewalks are facing outward. And then we can just do the easy fixes like this by drawing connecting lines across here. We have one there. It's gonna leave some of these weird patchy spots. I don't know if there's a way to fix those little patchy spots, but for now they're just gonna have to stay. What I also want to do is draw like a little parking lane in the middle of here and one down the middle there. And I'm going to do a parking road like this by throwing in one here and one here. I don't know if I want to do 90 or 60. I guess we can just decide by doing an actual upgrade of them. These are just ever so slightly not on center. That's going to drive me nuts. But let's see if we can center them a little bit better. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. And then I kind of am debating on if I want to do this as well. If I pull this to this road, No, yeah, I'm gonna follow my original idea and do these as 90 degrees. Makes the whole area look a little bit better. And I think I'm just gonna leave the green in the middle. I don't think I'm gonna super like landscape it like I did with obviously the stuff that's on the sides here. I don't think it's really justified, to be honest. Whoa. Oh, I could do mm, I could do something like that. No, I don't like that. I don't think I like that. All right, there we go. Now we've got parking all the way through. It's a little better. I think it's a lot better. Let's go ahead and copy this parking road, and there we go. So that fix is out of the way. The next thing I want to fix is the hospital. I did a whole YouTube video showcasing this build, and now I'm just gonna have to go through and delete all of it. So what I'm thinking for this area is just utilizing one of the base game medical clinics, and they do have an upgrade where you can actually um, add additional wings without necessarily being connected to the building, uh, quote unquote, without being connected. But they do have to be within an actual exterior distance to the building. So I'll show you what I'm saying by that right here. So I see that that's how much this building is going to take up. What I'm thinking is I can actually take this here, just a regular alley road, and I'm actually just going to bring it straight back. And we're going to connect the hospital here, like this. So when you go into the upgrade menu, now you can actually do an ambulance depot on the side. That's probably what I'm going to add. But you can also do an extension wing. So what I'm going to do is something like this. And I'm thinking if I actually come through here and manually remove these props here, and then I'm going to take a, see if we can center this between these two. Less bad. It's all I needed. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is take a grass surface and expand it out to the edges of the hospital grounds here. So I'm going to make these into an actual park. I'm going to start with some Florida palms. And I don't think I'm going to use the line tool like I usually use. I think for here, I'm going to do little clusters. A couple little oak trees. And next, we're going to do some linden. I actually really like the look of the lindens. Um, I think the color variation on them is absolutely awesome. And I think they fill in some of the medium space in between these huge trees and smaller trees. Similar to the previous hospital, I think I want to add in some park benches and trash cans and stuff, kind of just at any of the intersections of these paths here. I think a little pop-up tent isn't a bad idea. Let's go ahead and add one or two of these. Just kind of sprinkled through a little bit, not too heavy. Throw another one of these down. And of course, put a few trash cans right next to the kiosks. With the hospital now complete, I don't know if I entirely love the shape of this intersection. And I think maybe a turbo roundabout or something similar would be probably a better bet. I think I'm going to build that real quick. So let's go ahead and honestly, let's just pretend that didn't happen. If this doesn't work, I'm just going to make it a super node and just deal with it. Yep, I hate it. I was hoping the ambulances weren't going to do anything janky with these one-way roads, but obviously they kind of have to go the far way because of the directional parking lot. So yeah, this idea is going to get scrapped as well. I'm going to start by just using a little road segment to separate off this little section of the road. Next, using Move It, just find the nodes that you're actually wanting to extend to or connect to, and just expand them past wherever that actual entry point is going to be. Honestly, I wasn't aiming for this to look perfect by any means. So after a couple minutes of tinkering with it and some stuff I ended up deleting from this edit, I did not feel like wasting another 5 or 10 minutes just making sure this intersection was like perfectly shaped or anything like that, or perfectly flat with the existing road. So I I just did what I had to. It made it functional, and that's all I care about. Next, some really quick lane management, and just make sure that it functions all right. Another issue I wanted to fix was the actual parking roads that I had used, the deep parking road, or I don't remember exactly what it's called, but it caused the white square, and so I'm just going to use a small alley road and build some parking off the back of it. Also, it looks like the elementary school asset, I believe it was called Small City Elementary School or something. It looks like that asset got broken too. So I'm actually just going to move it to the neighborhood behind its current location because I also didn't really like the proximity to the main road. Also, where the elementary school was, I had this idea to kind of match the parking area. And so I just mirrored the alley road across and dropped another one of these canopy parking areas in. The color, obviously, because there's two different colors of these canopy parkings. I ended up with the brown one at first, and I think I kind of preferred the gray one. So I had to just drop a bunch of them down until it gave me the right color. Also, with the elementary school no longer in this spot, the two gas stations can go, and I'm just going to expand the potential commercial area for if another business wants to come in here later on. I'm not actually sure why, but for whatever reason, old assets seem to create like a really high amount of unnecessary pollution. So we're just going to get rid of those super quick. After doing the double covered parking lots in the other area to the right, I actually really like the look of them. So I'm just going to move this park here up one unit so I can do a mirrored covered parking lot area. And then I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of this other one. Uh, Speaking of broken assets, it looks like the small elementary school asset is not working either. So I'm just going to delete it and use one of the base game ones. And while I'm thinking about it, I decided to go ahead and rebalance the school districts for the elementary schools because I've got two of them kind of next to each other. I wanted to make sure they overlap, but don't serve the same districts overall. Another set of broken assets that I had used in a previous build was the beachside work in progress parks, I think is what it was called. These assets seem to have been broken in the recent update, and so I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of them. I'll eventually come back and redo this entire park area and make it look good again, but for now, I'm just going to leave it as a sand road. Other thing I got rid of
Another
was
one we had
the
was a
small
recycle
recycling
center here.
center
It was just a small
asset
recycle
that had
center.
been built, but
We've
again,
got
it
an
had some
actual
issues
small
and it's just
recycle
showing
center
up as a white
now. I
box,
just have to get
so I
unlocked
got
to
rid of
it.
it.
So
We
once we
don't
get there, we'll
currently
go ahead and
have
do that.
the new base game small recycling center unlocked, so once we do get that unlocked, we'll go ahead and add it into the game. Another small thing I wanted to add right now is going to be a lot bigger later on. It's something that I've talked about a few times in videos, but I haven't quite got around to building actually. And that's going to be the McCormick industrial area's connection to the actual outside interstate. I'm basically just going to lay the frameworks and then come in and do an actual build video with an interchange, like a proper interchange, and maybe some small details and stuff later on. But for now, I'm just doing a basic roundabout, kind of in the middle of the McCormick industrial area. Um, that way it's central, that way it's not clogging up kind of the exterior roads to the industrial area, and that way the traffic that's going into the area can kind of, utilize it as much as possible without, or I should say, with minimal overlap of traffic. I know that some traffic is going to use this bridge and essentially as a cut through so that they don't have to go all the way around, and that's fine. But the main thing is just making it a lot easier for like semi truck traffic to actually have ease of access to this area. Next, I had this weird issue where like trains were getting backed up on spawn at the edge of my border, and I really couldn't figure out why. Um, it like you can see, I kind of cleared it out a bit, and just couldn't figure it out. So I threw in uh, some double-sided train tracks, and that ended up fixing it. It turns out. I think it's because I have outside traffic set to 3 times, and I don't know if trains actually apply to the outside traffic simulation adjustment. And if it does, I've screwed myself because this is nuts, and I could not keep up with it for the life of me. If you've got any suggestions, please let me know in the comments. Anyways, the next area and final area that I'm going to work on for this video is going to be this outside kind of farm industrial area. I don't believe I did this on a video. I believe I built this area off screen or off video, whatever you want to call it. Um, and this intersection is very clearly an issue. Um, I just wanted to make it at least a little less strenuous. So it took about 10 minutes to do to all of what you're going to see me doing. I'm just doing it in fast forward because I honestly don't feel like talking about every little tiny change that I made. Basically, I just ended up widening this eastbound or northbound, I guess technically, section. Um, just widened the northbound section to 4 lanes for a departure and exit, basically so that the southbound lane had places to cross and also to turn around if needed. And the traffic heading out of the actual industrial area would have somewhere to go, at least a little more space to do so cleanly. Um, yeah, I do plan on eventually coming back, and you'll see in a little bit. I did make the approach and departure areas really short. Only went with one node for that widened 4 lane area. I plan on going back and increasing that later to 2 or 3 nodes. That way they have like actual time to get up to highway speeds. But for now, I think this works because it doesn't really matter. It's a small area. But once I kind of expand it and start making it look and feel a little more real, I'll go back and make sure that it looks and feels more real. So while we wait for this last section to be complete for the video, I just want to talk about the plans for the next video. So the next video, I do plan on doing, as I mentioned, the actual interchange from the highway to the McCormick area. So that will more than likely be the start of the next video. And then I also just kind of want to do some general cleanup and some more detailed park areas, as well as a little bit of structured neighborhoods and maybe even some condos. I've been working a lot at my new job, and I kind of have been intrigued by the way that condos are built, mainly in the fact that they're typically built one building at a time and expanded. And I think that would be something fun to kind of experiment with and play with in game by doing something similar. So acquiring the land that you need for all of the proposed condo space, and then further on expanding it and building or adding each individual building as time goes on. I think the idea is kind of neat, and I think it would be really fun trying to figure out how to actually incorporate that into a build process. So it's something I'm going to try out. Anyways, thanks again for watching. Don't forget to join the Discord and follow us on Twitch. And have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.